Hey good people, it's your old buddy Mark from Vintage Audio Nagoya, and I just finished going through this beautiful Kastam SS-102, and it sounded pretty good, I think. So, stick around. I open this thing up and go through it, show you a couple little tweaks that you can do to maybe make your 8-track tape echo machine sound its very best. Let's go. We're going into another one, deep. We're going into a Kastam SS-102. This is one of my favorite types of machine. They're relatively inexpensive, although the prices keep climbing on anything tape echo. It seems I'm paying a lot more than I used to for them, but I just got this one in, and dusty, no tape, but you know, looking like it's in pretty good shape. I haven't even tried to plug it in yet. We're gonna go in and check it out, clean it up before we do anything to it. So let's get in, see what's going on. We got a little bit of corrosion on the chrome here. We'll clean that up and just generally go through it and make sure she's ready to rip. So let's give her knuts. A little bit of rust on some of these screw pieces here, so we'll clean those up before we put it back. Why so stubborn? I like these solid wood, plywood, nice cases. They're well-built units, really. Okay, cursory inspection. We're a little dusty, but not bad at all. I don't think this has seen a ton of use, to be honest. The heads look like they're in really good shape, so that's encouraging. It's got a belt on it. That's all good. Belt's a little old. We'll maybe replace that. Tape has come undone. Not an issue. All right. No obvious issues. Looks like it's got all its original caps in it. So let's start by spraying those pots here. Really simple machine, just an 8-track in here. We've got a erase head, a play head, and a record head. We've got these little mini pots here, and these allow you to really tweak the sound on these. So if you've got one that doesn't seem to be you know, echoing out as much as you'd like, try tweaking those pots a little bit. Make sure you make note of where you were. In case you don't like what you do, you can always go back to where you were before. So I'm going to start by cleaning those heads up. As usual, I'm using my TAC head cleaner. Audio-Technica head cleaning liquid, aka pink alcohol. Let's just get in here and clean these heads up. They look really good, like I mentioned. You know, that's not bad at all. Alright, as long as we've got this alcohol here, we're going to clean up this area down here. There's just a little bit of tape residue and a little bit of rubber from old 8-track cassettes. And as long as everything looks okay, I like to look at them first before I plug them in, just to make sure there isn't anything that's looks like it's an obvious issue. But let's plug this beast in because I think it looks all right. And we're spinning. And we're going to use that, the spin here to clean that roller up. Capstan. And then I'm going to give this just a little blast of basically machine oil, sewing machine oil. This is from a razor set that I got, and same idea. So what I'm doing here is just getting a little oil in that top area I don't want oil on this thing, so I want to get it in the bearing, and then I'm going to use alcohol to clean that up so it doesn't get on our tape in the future. But I do want to lubricate that upper bearing a little bit. But then I'm going back with alcohol and just making sure we get rid of any oil that might be seeping on its way down there. And you can hear how nice that sounds now. Alright, that's that. Let's clean up these RCA inputs a little bit. And to do that, I'm going to just spray a little contact cleaner on this brush. And for the outside, I've made up a little protective covering here. Comes in pretty handy. I've got a few different styles of these things that I've made up. The black tape is just so I don't lose it, because I put it on a table before. I'd always, it's easy to lose this thing without the tape. But anyway, all it is a piece of plastic that fits over and allows me to get on the outside of these and get that surface cleaned up so we get nice clean contacts, but I'm not scratching up the case at all. Okay, much better. And now, let's clean up this little general area back here. A lot of dust and dirt gets trapped inside this little fuse area there. I'm going to try to avoid the serial number. It's just a paper serial number. So you touch it and the serial number just disappears almost instantly. So we want to keep that on there. Okay, we're looking pretty good there. Let's get the front. I've made a similar thing for larger ones here. Let's get a little bit of fresh cleaner. Pop this up on the side. If these are really bad, I'll pull them off and polish them up, but these are looking so nice that we're just going to freshen up the outside just to get them looking a little bit better. This is merely and purely cosmetic at this point, but they look better clean. And we'll get out the bigger one for this and give these the old Roto-Rooter. Get in the habit of doing strange things, like going back for one final run. I mean, that's not doing anything, but I always go down and come back up. What's the deal? What do you think you're doing? Not accomplishing anything there is what I'm trying to say by going back for the final visit. All right. Okay, I'm going to hit these Again, if things are really bad, I tend to take them off and really clean them up. If they're as clean as this machine is, I'm just going to give these a real simple freshening up here on the front. This is a really nice machine, it appears. Now, we haven't heard it yet, so we're going to have to listen to it. Find out how nice it really is. But it sure looks good. What a beautiful machine. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Look at that. It's in beautiful condition all the way around. Okay, let's get underneath here. And I'm just going to give this a quick wipe. And we'll get some fresh tape. This side, the tape was so bad that we're just going to remove that piece of tape, actually. There we go. Factory-ish. Well, I think it's time to put a tape in it and see how it sounds. If it sounds at all. Okay, one more area to address with these machines is there's a little bit of grease here on the bottom of this flywheel, and that tends to dry out. So I'm going to hit that with some fresh grease. Now, unfortunately, I'm out of my little tube of grease right now, so this is miles from the best method, but I'm just going to spray a little bit of lithium grease into this nicotine lozenge container that my buddy Dan, who's really addicted to nicotine, left over here. But that might keep that grease around until I get a new container. So I'm just going to run some grease down in here. And I was afraid of this. It's a little too thick. Not the grease, but my Q-tip applicator. There we go. Push that flywheel up a little bit. Okay. And get that down on there. Okay, that's good. And this isn't going to affect the performance of the machine at all, but it's just to make your life easier. But these machines came with a little bit of grease right here on this little arm, and this arm moves when you push the cartridge in. This is what holds the cartridge in its proper spot. So we'll just put a little bit of grease there to help with inserting the cartridge. So I'm just going to pull this out and put a little grease, not on the thing itself, but underneath it where this thing meets the chassis. You can tell there was a little grease there when it was new. All right, done. Okay, this thing is looking great. So let's fire it up and see if we got sound. This is again the first time I've tried to test it. We know we got power. I'm using a test tape here. It's an old karaoke tape, but I always use this thing just in case the machine, decides to eat something. Keep in mind or remember to keep these tabs pushed forward, or keep the felt nice and thick behind there so that they make good contact. All right, tape's in. Let's power it up. It's a good sign. Oh, I gotta turn the PA on here. Should have checked these first. Check, check, check. Okay, good. Echoes all the way down.
Check.
Oh, it's a good sign, people.
Check. 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 Check.
Gotta move those around a little bit to get them to come back.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, well that's good news. Let's try our low output. Ooh, let's turn that down. Check.
Check. Check. Check.
All right. Let's turn that input to. Check.
Check. Check. Check.
Line.
Mic. Check.
Line. Line.
Mic.
Oh, what a beautiful machine.
Check. 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 Treble. Check. Check. Check.
Sounding good. Everything sounds great. Now, just so it's not the world's most unhelpful video,
Check. Check. Check.
I want to show you how to adjust these pots. This machine
Check. Check. Check.
actually sounds really good, so I don't think it's necessary to make any changes here. But if you wanted to tweak, and oftentimes you need to tweak a little bit, these three little mini pots here will allow you to make some serious changes. This one is primarily the amount of echo, repeat. This is your VU meter, and this is it sounds like a bass or treble. It muffles or brightens up the overall sound of the echo. So just to demonstrate, check. You got to be getting tired of hearing me say check, but volumes here, check. That's a pretty loud check, and you can see that VU meter, I hope.
Check.
Yeah. All right, now let me get in here, and we'll just turn this pot down.
Check. 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 Check.
That's the same volume, essentially.
Check. 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 Check.
And you can see how that VU meter starts to change its response.
Check. Check. So, big overdrive. So,
anyway,
get that VU meter where you're comfortable with it starting to overdrive. Check. 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 And I'll just go back to where it was, and it seemed to be a pretty good spot to begin with. But that's the adjustment there. Now, this thing has almost too much repeat, which is unusual. Normally you want more, but check.
We're starting to oscillate out at about 8, which is not giving us the full sweep of our possibilities here. So I'm going to dial that back, and that's
Check.
this one, the farthest one to the left of here.
Check. 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 Check.
All right, so I just took a little bit off of that.
Check. 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 Check.
And it still could maybe come back a little bit, but I like a full oscillation, so we're going to leave it there. I think the VU meter is about where we want it. Check, check, check. And our repeats, check, are pretty good. We do oscillate a little early.
Check. check.
But I think we're happy with that. So make little tweaks here until you feel like you're getting your best sound and your best response out of the VU meter, and the machine's going to start sounding great. All right, just a couple things to help people troubleshoot their machines. Now, occasionally I've had a couple people have issues with things after they've arrived, and they bounce around a fair amount, I'm afraid, you know, coming across the Pacific. So, as you can hear, this thing sounds like death right now. Just death. And in this situation, it's just as easy as gently touching the cartridge. So we want to get everything checked, lined up correctly. So that, you would think your machine is just junk. What? This thing's garbage. I want my money back. Wait a minute. This thing's awesome. I think I'm going to send that dude an extra 50. This thing's mint. So, anyway, sorry for the freak out, but check your tape and make sure it's lining up all right. So let me show you what happens oftentimes too, is that if you come in at the wrong angle, now unfortunately I just greased this up and it's working so great that it's hard to get it in at the wrong angle. But if you get the cartridge in so it doesn't line up, you know, it feels like the tape is in and you can't push it in anymore, but we're not even touching this thing. So you'll hear, listen closely, you know, again, it feels like it's in. It's all the way in. It doesn't go in anymore, but check. So you can hear the sound of that cartridge, and you can really feel it too when it starts moving. So make sure you're hearing the sound of that tape moving, and typically, check, that's going to solve, you know, 90% of the problems that I've run across. The tape just didn't get pushed in properly, or it bounced around in transit. So again, I've mentioned it here already and in a couple other videos, but make sure these little tabs are pushed up really well. And just to give you an example, I'll push these down quite a ways. Used the wrong tool for this. I got head cleaner on here, so let me get this head cleaner off this tape. Just use a little alcohol here. Okay, so now I've pushed these tabs in quite a ways, and let's get that head cleaner dried off. And I'll push this tape in. Check, check. Check, 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 check. And there's absolutely no echo. Check, check. What? I can hear the tape turning. Check. So why is there no echo? All right. So now, again, we're not going to make the same mistake twice. I'm going to clean this tool off this time. But let's just get in here and bend these tabs way back up. I'm not even going to worry about how well they're positioned at this point. But if you bend them up and bend them flat, you're in a much better spot. But let's just stick it back in here. Check. Check. So that's how important that is, all right? Those things need to be making good pressure against the tape in order for the tape head to read the tape. So I can't stress enough the importance of checking that and making sure that those things are pushing up, all right? Okay, just cleaned up the hardware for the bottom of the case, and just washed the case and polished the chrome, and put some armor all on the case. And now last big step here, I'm going to do this to all the cords I get, just to, let's lets me check them in a good way, and also they just look so much better when they're cleaned up. So just run a little bit of Armor All cleaner down the length of the cord. Never want to pull on the cord, obviously. Alright, and that's why I do it. We get a fair amount of grime off of them. Okay, people, before I button it back up, I just want to listen to it with a guitar. You know, we kind of dial it in with a bunch of checks, so let's listen to a guitar through it. Let's get a little echo on there. Let's throw that speed down to start. I think we're sounding pretty damn good. Crows like it. Crows are saying, "Maw, maw, maw." More echo. All right, let's put it back together. Kind of start freaking out. That's always what happens. So let's unplug this, plug that, get rid of that. Put this guitar somewhere precarious, which is kind of the normal thing to do. And then let's slip this baby in here. I cleaned up the case, looks wonderful. I always like to sing Reunited when I do this for some reason. Reunited and it feels so good. Reunited and it's understood. Oh, Captain and Tennille. Good 70s stuff. Okay. These cleaned up pretty nicely. They're looking good. So, we're not really seeing much, it looks like. Let's try to get this lined up. Alright. Let me back you up so we can get a better look at this. Alright. It's not that exciting, to be honest with you. I'm just putting screws in here. And I kind of understand why we're not getting lined up real good, because we're not even close to where we need to be. That seems to be about right. Good Lord, what's the deal? Don't normally have quite the issue with this. I'll finish this up and come back. How about that? All right, good people, you made it to the end. That's the Kastam. I'm just finishing editing the video, but I thought I'd give you a little sign off here and preview what's coming up next. If you're interested in this, there'll be a link down below. I'm going to put it up on Reverb. I get these from time to time. I'm a big fan of these machines. But if you're interested in this, you know exactly what's been done to it and what it looks like on the inside and how it sounds. I think you're going to enjoy that. Next up is going to be this Guyatone, and I think I'll do a video on this too. It's not quite as clean as the Kastam was to begin with, but it seems to be in good shape. I haven't plugged this in. I just got it today. We're going to clean this up, obviously, and do the same thing we did to that one. And hopefully it's as nice inside. If you look at these two machines, you'll notice that they're very, very similar in layout. There's different VU meter, but they're almost identical. So we're going to determine if they were made by the same company and just labeled differently. You know, there's a few differences here. The switch is different, and obviously knobs, some cosmetic things, but based on the layout, they sure look to be a similar machine. So we'll get to the bottom of that in the next video. Thanks for checking it out. If you'd be so kind, give me a like, and if you want to subscribe, you can get updates when I post the next videos. If you have any questions or comments about these or any other machine, just leave them down below and I'll try to answer them down there for you. Thanks.